I've seen all the Star Wars movies except for the spin-offs and Last Jedi. And Phantom Menace. I've seen...
Dude, it's like missing like a bunch of plot.
Not really. I know what happens in pretty much all of them, except for probably Last Jedi, actually. But I've heard it's not worth watching, so...
There was so much hope for Last Jedi.
Yeah,
I remember,
I've heard the premise.
Talking about it.
A lot of people have talked about the premise. Could have been cool, like Luke being a jaded old man, but they did it in the worst way. That's this is all hearsay from me.
I thought it was going to be more like replacing what the Jedi were with like a more nuanced, like better version of them that wasn't just like, oh, you can't have any attachments, lol, or whatever. But like, it wasn't that. It was just like Luke just like hates people and he just doesn't want to help anyone. He doesn't care about his sister or anyone.
That is kind of a betrayal of his character. Like,
yeah, tell me about it, dude. He was like the most hopeful person in the galaxy. He was the only one who thought he could still rescue Vader.
Yeah, I think, yeah. His part of his character was no one thought it could be done that he could bring back his dad, right? And he did, which is a feat and a half.
It's
Absolute
cool to have
legend.
like character flaws, you know. It makes them more complex and deep. But they literally, like Rian Johnson, literally just took his character and just smashed it into the ground. And, and at the end of the day, that's what makes The Last Jedi so bad. Like all the other like plot holes that people like to talk about, or like characters that they think are stupid, like Rose or whatever. Like I honestly, at the end of the day, I don't care about all of that. The thing that makes me hate The Last Jedi is what they did to Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, that is definitely the worst offense by far.
I've heard that. Okay, so people were comparing it to Rise of Skywalker, and they're saying, "Hey, it had its problems, Last Jedi, but at least The Last Jedi was a movie, like structured like a movie." And
as opposed to what?
As opposed to Rise of Skywalker not being a movie.
I easily prefer Rise of Skywalker, and I think it's a shitty Star Wars.
I feel like it was the most okay. Like, I wasn't really stimulated. Like, okay, I'll admit, the first scene when he finds the Emperor was, like, insane. And I was like, what the really? He's back? Like, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was, like, a nightmare. But I feel like him coming back was kind of not good.
It's just the ultimate safe play. Like, J.J. Abrams was just terrified. And I can understand why. To just deviate at all from the stuff. So as soon as he took control of the ninth movie, he literally just made it, the most safest movie you can possibly do in every aspect.
Is it kind of like a clone of Return of the Jedi? In the sense that it's the Emperor again and you have to beat him? And then the secondary person dies? Ben Solo dies?
I mean, basically.
I would say you can definitely draw a lot of comparisons.
It's not as much of a carbon copy as Force Awakens and A New Hope, but it's there.
That one was way more obvious, but I don't know. Some parts of Rise of Skywalker wasn't like. I was kind of like, why is that happening?
Well, it's because J.J. Abrams was like, "What the fuck, Rian Johnson? You're supposed to make a carbon copy of Empire Strikes Back. What the fuck?"
Then it would have been the best one. I remember in the movie, I forgot what part it was, but they made a dig at Rian Johnson in the movie, like literally in Rise of Skywalker, and I'm like, you didn't have to do that, dude. Like. Now this is in the movie forever. Your hatred for Rian Johnson.
I hate Rian Johnson for what he did.
Well, I've heard he makes good movies, and that's just like possibly one of his worst movies he's ever made.
I mean, I believe it. I don't think The Last Jedi would have been that awful if it was just like a random movie that if no other Star Wars movies existed, Last Jedi would be fine. because it wouldn't be a character assassination. It would just that's who Luke is from the start, and like we wouldn't go in there expecting a certain form of like dialogue and seriousness to be upheld. We would be fine with like the Marvel-esque little quips and stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's actually, yeah, looking at it that way, it would be Pog. That's true.
I've heard like his death is also not earned. Like it's done poorly as well. Not just his character was
Luke's
assassinated.
death, yeah. It makes no sense. It's stupid. It's dumb, man. I hated that too.
And Leia flies like Superman out of the ship.
Literally died from trying too hard.
Yeah, except like all he did was project himself. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty powerful.
I don't know, man. I guess like from a Star Wars nerd perspective, like in like the books and stuff that originally came out about like what happened after the original trilogy, like Luke was so powerful that he could like kill someone on another planet just like with his mind, basically using the Force. And so like
he's been crazy.
I wasn't, I didn't want him to be like that crazy, but like I don't know, you kind of expected more than just like he has like a Force Skype call and that drains him so much that he dies.
Skype call.
This man actually said Force Skype call.
Dude, this man was in a Force Discord call without Discord Nitro, and that's why he died. He couldn't share beams from one of his servers to the other server he's on currently. To this day, I still don't have Nitro, but who cares?
Yeah. Honestly, for me, the worst part of Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker, was just Rey just being like, "Yeah, I'm a Skywalker."
Oh yeah, that.
It just left a bad taste in my mouth.
What people have said, and I agree with this, it's like, okay, you gotta admit that Anakin, when he was still Anakin, kind of ruined the name Skywalker, and then Luke and Leia kind of made the name a positive thing again. She could have done that with the last name Palpatine easily.
Well, yeah, the whole thing is like it just kind of ruins the message. It's like, okay, she's like a good Palpatine. She proved that it didn't matter that she like came from like a dark, birth or whatever, like, because she overcame it. But then she throws that all away because she's like, all right, I actually do care about my name.
Yeah, that sucks.
It literally felt like J.J. Abrams.
I've kind of had a problem with Rey in general, like her character.
I mean, who doesn't?
Like, yeah, and everything I would probably agree with has already been said. Like, I would say it would be far more interesting if Finn was the main character. Easily. Just having Finn be a guy that defected from being a stormtrooper. That just his origin is interesting, way more interesting than another desert dweller again, hunting for scraps again.
Except this time she's a Mary Sue.
Yeah. Like, okay, think of Anakin Skywalker, Luke, and Rey. They're all like, they have the same origin story, essentially. Orphaned. Poor in the desert. There you go. That's their origin.
Yeah.
In every trilogy. So I think it's just so glaring that JJ is just so... He didn't try anything new. He just reiterated the same stuff that's happened. And some more.
Oh yeah, this classic image.
Yeah, that's what I had to say about Rey.
Adam Driver has severe herniated disc in his back. His doctor says it's from carrying the sequel trilogy. Yeah. Yeah, and I hate the fact that Ben Solo just became, or Kylo Ren just became a Jedi at the last second and disappeared after he kissed Rey. Bang. That's what he wanted to.
I mean, Rise of Skywalker is just so rushed, but there's not really anything you could do about that because he spent the entire first movie just like retreading the same ground and just kind of setting up everything, and then the second movie was just derailing Star Wars as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, you actually don't need to see the Last Jedi ever. You can just watch, like, Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker, and you're literally good. Like, literally. Like, there's
so
nothing
I'm good.
like,
I didn't miss anything.
All you need to know is, like, that Luke isn't there. Like, he's out of the picture. Just, like, pretend like something... Luke just, like, had a heart attack when Rey showed up or something.
I've heard the training scene with Rey was pretty bad too, and how lightsabers are used or not.
I don't really remember it enough. What I remember, it was fine, but I don't know.
Well, what I've heard is, I've literally am calling this guy Australian-Mog because he kind of is just Mog, but Australian, and he's like a medieval arms expert, and he even like trains to wield swords in modern day, right? So like this guy's like, he'll observe certain things and give his critique from, like, he'll examine something from media, right, and say if it's like
okay, yeah, there's a lot of that kind of thing on YouTube. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so Australian-Mog has said basically the weapon is kind of more of a light fencing, like rapier kind of weapon, and how she was using it with both hands, like with powerful swings, is not an effective use of how it's used in the training montage. Like,
I mean, that's just how lightsabers have been used a lot in all of Star Wars. I don't think that's really a fair critique. I mean, you don't even really know how heavy, or you don't know the exact dimensions of it.
The thing is, like, lightsabers have evolved over time. In the original trilogy, they were kind of more heavy. They seemed like they were more heavy, and they took more power to wield. Like, you'd see more people two-handing it and just swinging with powerful strikes. Like, for example, Ben Kenobi versus Vader. That one seemed very slow-paced.
Well, I think the difference is just like the choreography improved, and like they decided to make it, because like for the prequels, for example, it was supposed to be like Jedi's in their prime, and like so like really George Lucas wanted it to be like the Jedi's are like using the Force to augment their physical abilities, so like they're able to swing it really fast and stuff.
Some people think that's a mess too, because they're all fast, especially when Yoda started doing his stuff. They're like, I never expected Yoda to move this way. And I kind of get that, but at the same time, like, I guess they were just trying to make it more interesting to watch.
I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's cool.
Yeah. To me, the prequels was just, George Lucas took all of his massive budget for Star Wars that he made from the original trilogy, and he just took full control and just did like this insane CGI demo. That's what he did for the prequels. I mean,
I guess you're not wrong.
It was a little bit over ambitious, I think, and I think that it has made it age kind of badly. But I mean,
there's still some odd moments. I like the end of the third movie, for example.
Revenge of the Sith is still the second best Star Wars. Don't at me.
Okay, so the best Star Wars is Empire, and then...
No, I have Empire third. Return of the Jedi has always been my favorite.
Oh, alright. I would probably say that Empire is possibly the best Star Wars movie ever made. And it's weird that here's the thing. I know a lot of people have said that. And, like, I don't disagree with that assumption that it's the best one. I think Return of the... Return of the Jedi has a few problems. But very minor. Like, it's still very solid. I like it a lot.
To me, like, the highs of Return of the Jedi and, like, just the emotional impact and stuff is enough to, like, make me not care about, the parts where it's a little more boring or, I don't know, like, kind of whack.
I actually really like the meme of this one part, and I didn't ever notice this as a kid, and I haven't rewatched it to see, when it actually shows up. But the funniest thing to think about is Luke's disjointed hitbox when he kicks the guy in the face and his foot is nowhere near his face.
Disjointed hitbox.
Are you kidding me?
I'm just saying it's so funny. Like, go back and watch right when Boba Fett has his rocket go off and he flies across the screen from right to left, right? You see Luke kicking a guy. But obviously hardly anybody notices this, but he's kicking and his like foot is like a foot away from him on screen, and the guy just falls back as though he's been hit.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I actually can picture it in my head.
Yeah, I'm picturing it in my head right now. It's the funniest thing when you actually realize it.
Yeah, I just think that the pacing in it is just pretty bad, and so
I would say, yeah, that's one of the problems.
Think for that reason, for me, it's like third. Like I think Empire is best, then Revenge of the Sith, then Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I for some reason also as a kid I really liked the second episode 2 for some reason a lot. I don't know why I liked that one the most. Maybe it's because they had Yoda flipping out, or like some of the other scenes were pretty good. But I remember when...
That is a pretty weird opinion.
Well, yeah, as a kid, you're not really thinking, about a lot of stuff. But I think I've always... Once Revenge of the Sith came back... Wait, not that. Oh, wait, no, that is the third one, right? I'm getting mixed up with all these titles.
Revenge of the Sith is the third.
Yeah, so I think that became my favorite one after. But yeah, I've never seen Phantom Menace, and
you've never seen it?
Yeah, I've only seen the scene where they're fighting, and Qui-Gon dies. That's all I've really seen in Lord.
Well, that's easily the best part. So I mean, I guess whatever.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't have to deal with Jar Jar as much. I still think he was annoying though. Big boobs.
I mean, yeah, he's kind of annoying, but I don't know. He really doesn't show up as much as you'd expect with, how much people hate on the movie for it.
And George Lucas trolled his own fan base by saying, when someone's like, "So who's your favorite Star Wars character?" I don't know. I'd have to say Jar Jar Binks.
I freaking hate Jar Jar. Like, I am just a Jar Jar hater. I'm not even gonna act like I like him or something. I just hate him.
Enhance this image. Oh my god.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fucking piece of shit. Don't come for it, don't come for me. You're fucking bad. You're fucking bad.